The number one wealth killer no one talks about. Inflation is often referred to as the silent wealth killer, lurking in the shadows while silently eroding the value of your hard-earned money. While it may not always be a topic of casual conversation, its effects can be profound and far-reaching, impacting everything from your savings and investments to your purchasing power and overall financial well-being. Number 4. What is inflation? Inflation, a fundamental concept in economics, reflects the gradual increase in the overall price level of goods and services within an economy over time. It signifies a decrease in the purchasing power of money, meaning that over time, the same amount of currency will buy fewer goods and services. This phenomenon occurs due to various factors, including the growth of the economy, changes in consumer demand, fluctuations in production costs, and shifts in monetary and fiscal policies. At its core, inflation is driven by the interaction of supply and demand dynamics in the marketplace. When demand for goods and services exceeds the available supply, prices tend to rise as businesses seek to capitalize on increased consumer willingness to pay. Conversely, when demand decreases or supply increases, downward pressure on prices may occur, resulting in deflation or disinflation. Central banks play a crucial role in managing inflation through monetary policy tools. Central banks aim to achieve price stability while also supporting economic growth and employment. Moderate inflation is generally viewed as beneficial for the economy as it encourages consumer spending, incentivizes investment, and reduces the real burden of debt. However, high or volatile inflation can pose significant challenges, such as eroding purchasing power, distorting economic decision-making, and undermining consumer and investor confidence. Hyperinflation, an extreme form of inflation characterized by rapidly escalating prices, can lead to economic instability, social unrest, and widespread economic hardship. In summary, inflation is a complex economic phenomenon driven by a multitude of factors and influenced by both domestic and global forces. While moderate inflation is considered conducive to economic growth and stability, excessive or unpredictable inflation can have adverse consequences. Effective monetary and fiscal policies, along with prudent economic management, are essential for maintaining price stability and ensuring the long-term health of the economy. Number 3. The insidious nature of inflation. The insidious nature of inflation lies in its ability to quietly erode the value of money over time, often going unnoticed until its cumulative effects become apparent. While the annual percentage increase in prices may seem insignificant on its own, its compounding nature can have a profound impact on individuals' financial plans and aspirations. Consider a scenario where inflation is running at a seemingly modest rate of 3% per year. At first glance, this might not appear alarming. However, when viewed over the long term, its consequences become more apparent. Using the rule of 72, a simple formula to estimate the time it takes for money to double at a given annual rate of return, we can calculate that at a 3% annual inflation rate, the purchasing power of money will have approximately every 24 years, 72 divided by 3 equals 24. This means that the $100 you have today, which might seem like a substantial amount, will only have the purchasing power of $50 in 24 years, assuming a constant rate of inflation. In other words, the same basket of goods and services that you could purchase for $100 today would cost $200 in 24 years due to inflation. This erosion of purchasing power can have significant implications for individuals' financial goals and plans for the future. Whether saving for retirement, planning for education expenses, or simply aiming to maintain a certain standard of living, failing to account for inflation can result in falling short of these objectives. Moreover, inflation affects different individuals and households differently, depending on factors such as income levels, spending habits, and asset ownership. Those on fixed incomes, such as retirees living off pensions or fixed annuities, may be particularly vulnerable to the effects of inflation, as their purchasing power diminishes over time unless their income streams are adjusted to keep pace with rising prices. Therefore, it's essential for individuals to incorporate inflation into their financial planning and investment strategies. By understanding the impact of inflation and taking proactive steps to mitigate its effects, such as investing in assets that historically outpace inflation, diversifying investment portfolios, and periodically reviewing financial plans, individuals can better protect their purchasing power and work towards achieving their long-term financial goals. Number 2. Impact on savings and investments. Inflation's impact on savings and investments is profound and can significantly affect individuals' financial well-being over time. When the rate of inflation outpaces the rate of return on savings or investments, the real purchasing power of those funds diminishes, effectively eroding wealth. Consider a scenario where an individual has funds deposited in a savings account earning a meager 0.5% interest annually. Meanwhile, inflation is running at a rate of 3% per year. In this case, the nominal return on the savings is being outstripped by the increase in prices for goods and services. Essentially, the individual is losing money over time despite the nominal increase in their savings balance. Similarly, investments in bonds or fixed income securities, which typically offer relatively stable but lower returns, may struggle to keep pace with inflation. Even assets traditionally considered to be inflation hedges like stocks can be impacted during periods of high inflation or economic uncertainty. Inflation can lead to increased production costs, reduced consumer spending power, and lower corporate earnings, all of which can weigh on stock prices. Therefore, it's crucial for investors to carefully consider the impact of inflation when making investment decisions. Investing in assets that historically outpace inflation, such as stocks or real estate, can help preserve purchasing power and grow wealth over the long term. Additionally, investors should regularly review and adjust their investment strategies to adapt to changing economic conditions and inflationary expectations, ensuring that their financial goals remain achievable despite the erosive effects of inflation. Number 1. Planning for the future. Understanding and addressing the impact of inflation is a cornerstone of effective financial planning. By incorporating inflation considerations into various aspects of financial decision-making, individuals can better protect their purchasing power and work towards achieving their long-term financial objectives. One key strategy to mitigate the effects of inflation is to invest in assets that historically outperform inflation over the long term. By allocating a portion of one's investment portfolio to equities, investors can potentially preserve and even grow their purchasing power over time despite the erosive effects of inflation. Diversification is another essential strategy for combating the impact of inflation on investments. By spreading investments across different asset classes, sectors, and geographic regions, investors can reduce the risk of significant losses due to inflation-related fluctuations in any single investment. Diversification helps ensure that even if one asset class underperforms due to inflationary pressures, other assets may provide stability or even growth, helping to mitigate overall portfolio risk. Consideration of inflation-protected securities, such as Treasury Inflation-Protected Securities (TIPS), can provide an additional layer of protection against inflation. TIPS are specifically designed to adjust their principal value in line with changes in the Consumer Price Index (CPI), effectively preserving the real value of investors' capital and providing a reliable hedge against inflationary pressures. Regular review and adjustment of financial plans and investment portfolios are also critical to adapting to changing inflationary conditions and economic environments. By periodically reassessing financial goals, risk tolerance, and investment strategies, individuals can ensure that their financial plans remain aligned with their objectives and effectively navigate the challenges posed by inflation. Conclusion: inflation, though often overlooked in day-to-day financial discussions, holds significant power to shape our financial futures. Its subtle erosion of purchasing power can quietly diminish the value of savings and investments over time, potentially jeopardizing long-term financial goals. However, by fostering an understanding of inflation and its implications, individuals can take proactive measures to safeguard their financial well-being. Whether through strategic investment choices, prudent financial planning, or periodic reassessment of financial strategies, it's possible to mitigate the detrimental effects of inflation. By staying informed and vigilant, one can effectively counter the silent threat posed by inflation and pave the way towards a more secure financial future. Don't underestimate the impact of inflation. Stay informed, stay proactive, and secure your financial well-being for the long haul. Remember, staying ahead of inflation is key to securing your financial future. Stay informed, take action, and watch your wealth grow. Subscribe for more financial tips and insights to help you thrive in today's economy. Thanks for watching.